Now is the time to explore VMware vSphere client here in this demo. VMware had two primary interfaces for older ES6i, which it was VMware vSphere client HTML5, and the second and the legacy one was interface Flash-based client. If you had the experience to work with the older version of VMware vSphere client, you may be familiar with these two options. But in 6.7 they changed completely from the HTML version, and the legacy Flash-based client deprecated from the vSphere client. So as you can see, this is VMware vSphere HTML5 access. So in VMware vSphere 6.7, we don't have Windows vCenter server, and VMware doesn't support installing vCenter server on the Windows. Just you have to install vCSA, which is a Linux based, and you must have a browser, which is going to be Google Chrome or Firefox, to connect to this environment. So here, as you can see, this UI refers to HTML5 access, and in legacy Flash-based interface, it was vSphere client. So here in navigation, we have four options, which is host and cluster, VMs and template, data store or storage, and the networking. Whenever you choose this option, you have the right side here. It will change based on your actually selecting this navigation item. And here we have the summary, monitor, configure, and other options based on the item that you select here. So let me actually, for example, just select this window. And here we have the summary of that operating system, the guest OS, compatibility, VM tools installed or not, and the IP address, and the rest of information here, as you can see. And we have the monitor for that operating system. We can actually see the triggered alarm, performance overview. So let me select vCSA, is much better. So as you can see, we have the overview, advanced, and the rest of them. Actually, later on, we're going to cover most of them here. In today's lesson, we just want to confirm that tabs here that you can use to actually exploring your vCenter server. And here we have action. The action is exactly like when you're right-clicking on the virtual machine and you want to, for example, take a snapshot. As you can see, again, we have the same window here. And here you can shut down the guest OS, and you have the power on and power off as soon as you install a VM tools option. And here we have the summary for this vCSA, as you can see, the compatibility, running version, and the DNS and IP address, and the ES6i that we installed this vCSA. And here we have web-based console and launch remote console here. Whenever you click, you can select which one that you want. So let's say allow pop-up. And here, as you can see, you can connect to the vCSA with the new tab. Or of course, you can use this option. Actually, you cannot connect because you need to download and install remote console. And here we have the hardware. Here again, we have the tabs for actually summary of our vCSA here. The host network, which is VM network, and data store that we use. And here we have the menu option. We have home, shortcut, host and clusters, VM and template, and we're going to cover most of them in this course. And here we have recent task. For example, I want to take a snapshot from this vCSA, and here, as you can see, in some cases you should do a refresh, or here you can just do a refresh on the client side, not in the browser. So as you can see, we have create the virtual machine snapshot. And here we can see the alarm. As you can see, vCSA lab.local, it has health alarm. You can click on it and see it was the connection and power state. So here, as you can see, these two tabs pinned, and you can unpin the these two links actually to have the better screen here, and whenever you need you can bring them here from this icon. And here you can do a search, for example, for a virtual machine, and again here you can monitor and configure that virtual machine or the snapshot or whatever that you like. And here you can actually send the feedback. It is going to be idea, problem, or complement. Here you can say, for example, something like idea, test, vSphere, and here you can take snapshot. Now as you can see, you can send the feedback to the VMware. And here we can change the password, older password, and the new password, and confirm the new password. And again, here we have my preferences. Here we can change the time format, the language that you like, and the default console. You can use a web console, or this console is going to be default for you. If you need this one, VMware Remote Console or VMRC, you should install VMRC client here and select this option. And here is the inventory, which there is a checkbox show VMs in host and clusters view. That's great. And of course here you can switch between themes. We have only 2 themes here. And of course we can log out. And here we have help and about VMware vSphere. Here you can see the current vSphere client version and VMware Cloud link, and here you can do refresh whenever it's needed. And here is the again menu that you can go to home and see the performances here for your virtual environment.